Okay, today the wait is officially over. I am announcing and allowing you to pre-order my brand new book, Rebel: Find Yourself by Not Following the Crowd. In today's special announcement episode, I'm going to peel back what's inside the book, how you can pre-order the book, including some incredible free bonuses you can get immediately, and why I wrote this book and how it's going to help you most importantly. I've been pumped to share this with you. Let's dive in. So friend, if you've been hanging out with me for a while, some of you who pay very close attention know I have been talking about Rebel, my brand new book, as early as a year ago when I went away to start writing the book. Well, the time has come to let you in on how you can get your hands on your very own copy of this book. Help me out as I try to launch this into the world later this year, and help you out by giving you a bunch of incredible bonuses. So the book is called Rebel: Find Yourself by Not Following the Crowd. It is coming out September 3rd, 2024, but you can pre-order your copy today. Just go to therebelbook.com. And when you're there, you're going to see some incredible things. And I want to show them with you today. If you're watching on YouTube and if you're listening to the podcast, you'll see it there. If you just go to therebelbook.com, you're going to see the cover. For those of you who've been wanting to know what it looks like, there you go. And then when you go down the page, you can pre-order on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, pretty much anywhere books are sold. These are clickable links. Go pre-order the book. Come back here once you've pre-ordered your copy and enter in the information here, including your receipt order number. Once you get that receipt from wherever you purchase it, just copy that order confirmation number or receipt number, put it in here. And what I'm going to do is give you over $300 worth of incredible bonuses, including the Rebel Masterclass hosted by my good friend John Gordon, who's a legendary 15 times best-selling author himself. And what I do in this 60-minute training is literally teach you the book. So even though the book isn't out yet, I walk through the entire 5-part Rebel framework and teach you a lot of the content inside of the book so you can begin applying the book today. It's an awesome class. John brings a ton of value as well, as he always does. So you're going to get access to that, which is valued at over $199, and start watching that immediately. I also put together a journal, the Rebel Journal, where you can literally either download it and print it out if you're old school, or do it digitally if you prefer. You're going to be able to start doing the training and the exercises inside of the book. These are a lot of exercises I take my private one-on-one clients through, and I teach them in the book, and I tell you about how to do them in the book. Well, now you can start doing them right away inside the Rebel Journal. That's valued at $49. You're going to get access to the Rebel community. I have a private, exclusive community just for people like you who pre-order the book. So I'm super excited for you to jump in there, because I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff, especially as we get closer to the book's launch. And I'll be, you want to be in this community, because that's where I'm going to be hanging out this year, especially as we get closer to the book launch. You get access to the Rebel community, and you're going to get access to the 30-day Rebel challenge, which is 30 days of emails. Yes, I wrote a lot of emails, but think of it as 30 days of virtual coaching. Whenever you want, you can start it. It doesn't start immediately. It starts when you want it to get me popping in your inbox for some virtual coaching and encouragement every day, teaching you principles out of the book, helping you move towards transformation in your identity and your purpose in the area of your life that you want to work on, because Rebel covers all 6 core areas of life. So you're going to get access to the 30-day Rebel challenge as well. And as you see on the page, you're going to see some incredible people who have endorsed the book, like John Gordon. He also wrote the foreword. John Acuff, Dr. Nita Bouchon, Dan Martell, so many more incredible people. And you're going to even see what the chapter names are and all that good stuff. So if you never watched the rest of this or listened to the rest of this, and you just want to leave right now and go pre-order the book and help a brother out, please, I'm okay with that. Just go to therebelbook.com. I'm going to link to it below the video version of this episode as well, therebelbook.com. Pre-order today. The pre-orders really do help me. If you're thinking, I'm going to get this book when it comes out, don't do it when it comes out. Do it now. All the pre-orders help me as I try to hit some of the bestseller lists. It all counts when the book goes live in week 1. And it lets me know that you're interested and serious, and you get the bonuses. The bonuses go away. So if you want them, they're a limited time, like Go ahead and pre-order now. You're going to get your copy mailed to you the moment it comes out, but you can get the bonuses now and start applying a lot of the content and interacting with me in the Rebel community immediately. So I want you to check that out, and I just thank you in advance for picking up a copy of the book. And if you really, really love me, pick up a copy for someone else as well. So real quick, what is this book about? I've had a lot of questions when I've talked about Rebel. I've tried to tease some stuff about Rebel. Some of you have been like, is this a business book? Like, what is this all about? Here's the message of the book in one sentence. This is a statement that I believe in wholeheartedly. In both life and business, and I know you're here for a bit of both, I believe that the key to success, satisfaction, and service to others can be summed up in just 4 words. Do it your way. Do it your way. From day one, I have run my businesses, led my family and my life my own way. If you don't do it your own way, you're going to do it the way everyone else is doing it because that's the default way. I talk about this in the book, but there is what I believe is a current of conformity. Like a river, you get in a river, it's flowing. If you don't do anything, if you just chill or you're too busy to think about what you really want, you're going to flow. You're not going to stay static. You're going to flow with the current of conformity that our culture has at large, the culture of your country, of your city, of maybe your household, of the peer group you're part of. You're flowing in the direction of all the people you're around, okay? And let's just look around and see how is that working for everybody. Most people are frustrated and disappointed at best, and at worst, they're in utter despair, and there's a lot of pain and hurt. And a lot of it could be avoided if we just put a stake in the ground and said, is this what I really want? Or is there a different way of doing things? And it's not just a different way. It is your unique way, a way that is aligned with how you were designed. Well, Graham, how am I designed? How do I know that? That's what this entire book is about. So because I believe most of us are living a life crafted by other people. Family, social media, societal expectations. And these are patterns that we have to say, I'm getting out of. And so what I call doing it your own way, I call that being a rebel. Being a rebel, because rebels buck conformity. So when I use this language, you got to understand being a rebel is not about breaking the law. It's not about doing something illegal. That's not what I'm talking about. It's instead about having the courage to give the world your truest, most authentic self, complete with all your talents, creativity, and joy, even if and when the world pushes back, because they always do. Think of some of the biggest rebels in history, right? Martin Luther King. Nobody really liked what Martin Luther King Jr. was doing until he made massive pushes in getting civil rights for people that were marginalized, right? Like, we didn't like the change. People didn't like what he was doing at the time. He was ruffling feathers, but now we look back and say he did good work, right? Amelia Earhart, first woman pilot to do incredible feats in terms of how far she flew, what she did. She even wore pants, right? Nobody wore pants. No woman wore pants in the 1920s, 1910s, right? Like, she did things her own way and has now become an inspirational figure. Jesus Christ is the ultimate rebel. His own people rejected him. And now there's a few billion people on the planet that worship him and serve him, right? He even changed the entire calendar. Our entire calendar is built around his life and death. I mean, that's insane. But people didn't like him when he showed up on the scene. So rebels do it their own way. So the key is to figure out who you are. You're never going to figure out who you are by just blindly following the crowd. So that's what this book intentionally does. This is not just a theory. This is not just, hey, you should just be yourself. No one knows who they are. No one knows who they are. So what I've done is walked through an entire framework of how to self-discover, how to uncover your uniqueness, uncover your identity, which will lead you to clarity on what to do with your life, what not to do, your life purpose. And so what I want to do is unpack a little bit of what's inside the book. Again, you can pre-order your copy now. Just go to therebelbook.com. I'm going to link to it below the video as well. And I got over $300 worth of bonuses for you, therebelbook.com. So there's a shift from flowing with conformity, with culture, you're in the current, to figuring out who the heck you are and living life on your own terms. And I have a 5-part rebel framework that I teach you inside of the book. And I also teach it to you immediately inside of the Rebel Masterclass video training that you get the moment you pre-order the book. So pre-order the book, get that class. You can watch it right now and start applying this stuff. But what's going to help you? What is this book going to help you do? It's going to help you wake up from the world's sleepy autopilot way of living. That's what everyone's doing, is just like on default, on autopilot. I'm going to wake you up. It's going to help you figure out what your dreams really are, or maybe perhaps dream for the first time if you never have. It's going to help you dismantle harmful mental scripts and limiting beliefs that have kept you stuck, potentially for years. In one of the chapters, I walk you through a powerful exercise I call the inner story audit. Everyone should do an inner story audit, probably multiple times a year. But if you've never done one, this exercise alone can transform your life. The book's going to help you determine what your ideal life looks like. So this is in your work or business. This is in your relationships, in your finances, in your health. So you're going to be able to identify exactly what your ideal life looks like. And then I'm going to help you chart a path to get there. It's going to help you stick to a set of values. If you haven't already created them, I help you create your own values to help navigate the big decisions of life. And ultimately, if you do this process and go through the Rebel process, you're going to be able to leave behind a legacy that others are going to want to emulate. People are going to look at you and say, what she's doing is different. What she's doing seems like totally like aligned with who she is. She knows who she is. She knows what she wants. And that's attractive. And not only is it attractive, it's going to inspire other people to want that for themselves, not to copy you, but to find who they are so they can live out the life they were designed to live. And I honestly believe that most people won't do this because it's scary. It takes courage to create the life, the business, the family that you want. But I believe that the rewards are worth it. And that's what this book is all about. Are you getting excited? I hope you are. I hope you just pause this right now, wherever you're listening or watching, and just go to therebelbook.com, pre-order your copy there, so I can give you instantly $300 worth of bonuses, right? The Rebel Masterclass with me and John Gordon. It's an hour-long teaching the book, so you can start applying the book right away, even before you have your copy. The Rebel Journal, so you can start doing these exercises, including the Inner Story Audit. You can start your Inner Story Audit today with the Rebel Journal. You get instant access to the Rebel community, so you can come hang out with me in this private community. And you're going to get access to the 30-day Rebel Challenge, which is 30 days of email coaching from yours truly. You get all of those for free. Just pre-order the book. This is the most affordable thing I will ever sell. If you've never supported me, this is the best way to do it. If you're a super fan, this is the best way to continue to do it. And it's a great way for me to give you a ton of value, right? You're going to get the most value for the lowest price possible when you pre-order one of my books. And you can do that today for Rebel. Go to therebelbook.com. All right. So why did I write this book? Some of you have heard the story. I've started to share it on certain podcasts. But about a year ago, and this is going to tie into sort of a belief I have about how you grow as an individual, is to get in new rooms, get in rooms where there's people doing bigger, badder things than you that will challenge you, challenge your thinking, but also just to be around other people, because you can shortcut life and you can move to new heights, not on your own. You need other people, because other people can open doors for you and pull you up the ladder in ways that you could never open yourself or pull yourself up. And so one way to do that is either to hire a coach, or even better sometimes is to get in a mastermind or a paid community where there's legit people that have signed up to be there. They're committed. And then you get to expand your network. When you expand your network, opportunities happen. About a year and a half ago, Shay, my wife, and I joined this new mastermind with Christian entrepreneurs doing 7, 8, 9 figures a year. And I'm one of the smallest businesses in the room. And it was at one of these initial events where I met John Gordon. Now, John is, if you don't follow any of his books, he wrote The Energy Bus. He wrote The Carpenter, The One Truth. He's a 15 times best-selling author. He's sold millions of copies of books, and he's one of the most in-demand speakers in the world right now. He's also a really good dude, and he's had a solid marriage for 27 years and 2 incredible adult children. So he's raised his kids and has led his family well, albeit not perfectly to his own admission, but he's a good person who's doing huge things in the world. And I've read a few of his books. I never met him, bumped into him at breakfast at one of these events. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're John Gordon. And I had realized in that moment that we actually had a connection, because my editor-in-chief of Ben Bella, books, Matt Holt, he actually has his own imprint of Ben Bella. He's the guy that signed me to my first book deal. Matt Holt came from Wiley Books, and Matt had been working with John Gordon for 20 years. He had signed John to his first book deal with Wiley 20 years ago. And so I had known that there was a connection there. So when I saw John, I pulled the only connection card I had. I said, hey, John, you and I both know Matt Holt. He just signed me to my first book deal, which just my book came out last year. This was a year ago, telling John. So we snap a picture, exchange phone numbers, have a good conversation. And he spoke a lot of life into me about what he sees in me. And he was asking me about my desire. And I said, I want to write more and speak more. And he spoke a lot of life into me. 2 months later, not even a month later, I was on a walk at Bayshore Boulevard, my favorite spot here in Tampa, along the water. And I just felt this still small voice, which is something I write about in Rebel, which you need to read, that I needed to reach out to John and do the bold thing and ask him for help. Because it dawned on me, and it's like the voice told me in my head, Graham, John is doing exactly what you want to do. He's just further ahead in the journey than you are. You want to write more books and speak more. That's what he's doing. So instead of figuring it out on your own, why don't you just ask him what pitfalls to avoid, what pathways to take? So I reached out to him and said, hey man, what would it take to get a day of your time? I'll pay whatever. So I paid whatever, got to spend a day with him. And he was super generous with me, but I got to spend a day with him here in Tampa. And I thought I was going to be asking him about speaking. How do I get into speaking on the level that you're speaking? But the interesting thing was the question he had for me, the thing he was most interested in talking to me about was my next book. My first book, How to Get Paid for What You Know, had already been out for a year. And he said, okay, what's the second book? And I said, man, I don't know. It's not even been 12 months yet since my first book came out. Can I just enjoy the fact that it's out and all this work I did? And we hit, bestseller status on Amazon for entrepreneurship, in the top 10 of all entrepreneurship. Can I just enjoy this for a minute? He said, we're not going to talk about speaking until we talk about your next book. That's the most important thing, is what is the message of your next book? And so he asked me a bunch of questions. What could you write about? What have you thought about writing about? And we went back and forth. And eventually, because I couldn't come up with anything that I was really, really clear I wanted to write on, eventually he said, after a couple hours of grilling me, he said, tell me your life story. So I started to tell him my life story. And it included my desire to be a musician and be a rock star, and how I didn't want to go to college. And everybody said I had to go to college. I said, why do I need to go to college? What I want to do is be a musician. You don't have to be a musician to go to college to be a musician. And so I didn't do what people said to do, and I didn't want to do what people said to do. And then even starting my business, people were like, why are you starting this online business talking about music and recordings? Doesn't make any sense. And I was like, it makes a lot of sense to me. I don't know how it's going to work, but I'm going to figure it out. Even when I pivoted from my first business in the music space to teaching online business, people are like, why are you leaving that first business? You're a music guy. You're not a business coach. And I just kept doing things my own way. He said, Graham, you're a rebel. That's what you are. That's who you are. You're a rebel. You don't do what people tell you to do. You do it your way. And the moment he said that word, you're a rebel, it's like something jumped in my spirit. Like, that's not language I have used for myself. But when I looked back on what I had just told him of my story, all the dots connected with that one word. Yes, not rebellion to be a jerk, but rebelling against the prescripted path, the quote, this is the way, like that everyone said I had to do things. I wanted to do it my own way. The way we've raised our kids is not the way most people are raising their kids. The way I view marriage is not the way most people are viewing marriage. Most marriages are falling apart, right? I'm choosing to do it my own way. And it gave me language that just instantly lit up in my spirit. We started to brainstorm ideas. What does a rebel mean? What is it like? What are the benefits to being a rebel? And then within 48 hours, the whole 5-part framework came to me like instantly. And within 4 more days, I pitched the idea to my publisher. I didn't have a full book proposal this time like I did book 1, but just a 1-pager. Here's the concept. Here's the framework. And they wanted to sign it right away. They said, when can you get the manuscript in? And that was all last February of 2023. And so like a whirlwind, I got to outlining and brainstorming and mind mapping this book. And then in April of last year, I began writing it. And I wrote from April to August to get the first draft of the manuscript in. And then August to December, me and my editors and my editor team, there's really a handful of them, were refining the book, improving it, clarifying things. And here we are. Now you can pre-order it. What's been wild is that this book kind of came out of nowhere. And then I immediately began testing the frameworks with clients and with myself, even my kids, right? I had the dinner table, sit down and make them go through some of these frameworks in the book. And to see things pop, to see people get it, to see people move closer to who they are, get insights into their identity, insights into what they really want out of life and how to get there. It's just mind-blowing. And so it's been such a wild ride. And I literally am just bursting at the seams for people to get their hands on this book because it's going to help your business, yes, but it's going to help your marriage if you're married. It's going to help your health. It's going to help the way you think about money. It's going to help the way you think about managing your time. I mean, everything that you want in life is possible for you, but you must get clear on not only what you want, but who you are, because who you are determines a lot about not only what you want, but how to get there. Knowing your values matters, right? My values will shape a lot of how I go about doing things that other people might go about doing in a different way. Values are really important. And so this book helps you think through that as well. It's very tactical. It's like a coaching session in a book. It's a light and quick read. It's shorter than my first book. It's meant to be read quickly and acted upon. I think you're going to be fired up. So again, you could pre-order the book Rebel right now today. It comes out September 3rd, 2024, but you can pre-order your copy today at therebelbook.com. And again, I've got over $300 worth of bonuses. I'm trying to sweeten the pot for you. If a $25 book isn't a steal of a deal enough, I want to give you $300 worth of bonuses, including the Rebel Masterclass, which is a 60-minute training with me and John Gordon, teaching you the book, the 30-Day Rebel Challenge, which is 30 days of virtual coaching for me in your inbox, teaching you concepts from the book and encouraging and helping you get life change. You're getting access to the Rebel community, private community that I'm going to be in this year, and we're going to get really busy and ramped up, especially as we get closer to the book's release date, as well as the Rebel Journal, which you can download instantly and begin going through some of the biggest, most profound exercises in the book. You don't have to wait for the book to come out to start doing the book. You can start transforming your life and business right now by applying what you're learning inside of the Rebel Journal. It's meant to be acted on. All of that is free for you if you just go pre-order the book at therebelbook.com, and there's instructions there for how to then get your receipt number, your order number from wherever you decide to pre-order it, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Books A Million. Bring that back to therebelbook.com, enter it in there, and you're going to get instant access to those bonuses. All I can say in advance is thank you. Will you please get the word out? Will you please support this book? Can you please help me and get behind this book? This is my biggest initiative of 2024. I believe this book is something special. I believe it's meant to take over the world in the best way possible. I don't believe it's meant to be a small book read by a small few. I believe it's meant to be a huge book read by the masses, because what I want to do is help everyone in the world discover their true identity so they can walk in more alignment to who they were designed to be, so they can be more fulfilled, more impactful in whatever line of work they are in, because they're operating as themselves and not what somebody says they should be or not what they think they should be. Wouldn't the world be a better place if we all showed up as who we actually were? How much lighter would you feel if you just operated as who you actually were? And if you don't know how to become or uncover who you actually are and were designed to be, Rebel will help you figure that out. So pre-order the book now at therebelbook.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave me a comment and let me know that you've pre-ordered. Just say pre-ordered. Let me know once you've done that. Drop a comment below. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you can go to therebelbook.com right now, pre-order your copy, and let me know. Rate and review the show and let me know that you pre-order the book as well. I'm so thankful for your support. Even a $25 book pre-order makes a huge difference. So thank you. I cannot wait to get this book in your hands, but you don't have to wait. You can start diving into the content immediately with the bonuses that you get from pre-ordering. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I'm excited to share this with you, and you'll be hearing a lot more about Rebel and a lot more from me in the weeks and months to come. I'll see you on another episode real soon.